Well, shit, didn't want to do that. Anyway, well, welcome everyone. My name is Sebastian Pereira. I'm part of the Littlefish Foundation, and the Littlefish Foundation spun off from Cardano for Climate Change as a particular effort in order to fund activists on the ground using the Cardano blockchain and decentralized voting system. Basically, the Littlefish Foundation, like I said, started as a side organization or a small organization from the larger Cardano for Climate Change. Our objective is try to adapt the Kiva.org model in order to use it in the blockchain, but also to iterate on it and actually surpass it, because obviously decentralized technology allows for far more developments in this type of decentralized funding model that traditional systems cannot account for. So right now, the focus of the Littlefish Foundation is try to fund activists in a decentralized manner that try to bolster sustainable development goals, right? So we know there are 17 sustainable development goals that have been endorsed or promoted by the United Nations and different NGOs around the planet. All of these development goals are trying to address all of the challenges posed to our civilization by climate change. And that is trying to solve this in a grassroots way and not trying to purely rely on governments or large institutions like corporations. Obviously, the blockchain industry has grown quite a bit since the inception of smart contracts, somewhere around 2015, 2016. And there are many blockchains out there, right? But we came, Littlefish Foundation and Cardano for Climate Change came to Cardano, first and foremost, because Cardano obviously has in mind the many challenges humanity is facing and is trying to develop the technology to address them in a decentralized fashion again. And for that reason, Cardano has all of the values we hold dear in the Littlefish Foundation in the forefront. And we see that we have a great alignment with the Cardano community at large, the organizations behind Cardano, like Cardano Foundation, IoG, and Emurgo. For that reason, this is like the perfect ecosystem for this type of initiative. So why are we here? As Joran was also explaining a little bit before, we already decided to go ahead and do our first trial funding run in order to show our progress, in order to validate all of the assumptions that we were having on the model, and more importantly, in order to show progress to the Cardano community and Catalyst especially. So this was a short trial run, basically was organized for the month of January and this month. And we decided to collect at least 1,000 ADA for the community using small donations, and then do a voting round to fund one of the proposals that were presented to us. So for this round, we had 6 proposals. The first proposal, it was the conversion of slaughterhouse waste into high quality food for abandoned stray pets. That was a proposal that was presented to us in the Littlefish Foundation. The second proposal by the same proposer, Dimitri, was to collect excess food from restaurants in Nigeria. He already does this. He goes around collecting food from restaurants as form of donation. Then he concentrates that food and basically takes them to foster homes for children so that they can eat. The next proposal was trying to it was basically an idea for an anonymous voting of the Littlefish Foundation. The proposal 5 was a forest school located in Turkey, and they will basically use land in order to increase the education of climate-related issues from, I believe, school level children, right? Proposal 6 is inner development goals. Proposal 7 was to fight plastic pollution in Malawi. That's a big problem there because a lot of plastic waste gets driven to their beaches. So it was a proposal to help with that. So we did 3 rounds of voting in which we weighted the votes based on the frequency and the preferential choice. So we had to vote for 3 proposals. The first proposal we get the most points, second proposal the second amount of points, and the third proposal it will only get 1 point. And after doing the 3 rounds, we basically tally all of the different rounds of votings and all of the proposals that got the highest numbers. So in this case, the proposal that won this round of funding was proposal 5, the proposal for the forest school seed funding located in Turkey. So a little bit about how we collected our funding. So our target was 1,000 AIRA, and those 1,000 AIRA were collected from all of the people in the Cardano for Climate Change and Littlefish Foundation. But we couldn't quite reach that goal. So we want to basically extend a special thanks to Agape Pool and all of the participants because they top off our initial funded and to make it reach to the 1,000 AIRA that we were originally decided to target for. Well, that's it for the proposal. So I want to invite Oscar now in order to explain us his proposal. He's the winner of this round. So take it away. Thank you.
Yeah, first of all, I really want to thank to everyone who support this project. This is a first initiative of the Forest School project that will probably take 4 years. But small steps need to be taken to prepare the ground. So first of all, we will have seeds growing, around 200 seedlings we will grow, and we will move these seedlings to the area, but this area is, although the trees are cut there, the path is not so good to carry the seedlings there. So we will need to open the gate to the area where we will have several workshops. So this fund will be basically spent for planting the trees and moving these trees, seedlings to there. And we need to establish fences there. Otherwise, there are animals like cattle and sheep walking around, and we need to keep these seedlings available for children to join workshops. So that initiative is highly related with Sustainable Development Goals. It is part of the Renaissance Institute, which I founded in 2013. So I really appreciate, and it's great to see how generous the community is. We had some issues to collect funding on the way, but there is always someone. I remember that Brock showed up and said that how they started and they want to support the small initiatives as well. So one day I believe that our initiative, small initiative, will be probably impactful and we will help other people as well. I would like to thank you one more time for the support provided by all the donators and also Littlefish Foundation. I will be happy to distribute our work on social media channels and as well as website of the association, which I will share here right now with you. And if you have any suggestions for me, of course, this will be like taking the videos of children and as well as planting process. Although it's winter in Turkey, we will have some nice time to prepare our seedlings, and you will see the process, most of them in April and May, because this is springtime in Turkey. And during this summertime, you will see small initiatives taken by us. Thank you very much one more time.
Well, thank you, Oscar. Everyone, please give him an applause. So moving forward, so now that we have finished our first trial funding run, we have decided that there won't be any more voting rounds. So next, what is going to happen is that all of the projects that want to get funding from the Littlefish Foundation will be featured in our on our main page in our website, and people would be able to directly fund these projects using the Cardano blockchain. From there, we will create different methods in order to gather more resources, like starting a stake pool operation, distributing tokens, NFTs, and different series of ways that utilize the blockchain technology in order to attract more people into all of these different projects. So even though in this round we only had one winner, we think that this was only the first step, and all of the projects that presented to us in this round will be featured in the later iterations of our project in order to gather the funding from the Cardano community and hopefully even a bigger audience down the line. So open the floor for questions, please, anything.
How do we submit projects?
Right now we have a Google form that we can share, and there you can basically fill the details of the projects or nominate people, right? So if you want, maybe you don't have a project, but you don't know someone, please do so.
It would be great to add a Google form to the website, so everyone can load it there.
Yeah, it's noted.
Yeah, and I think one important thing to mention that we are trying to build from the beginning is how to report and track the impact. So Oscar, you have big responsibility now to show us, exactly where the money is going, exactly each dollar where it's going, and kind of prove it, and then show the impact that it's doing and register the impact.
Yes, sure.
And then from that, we learn how to apply it for many other projects in the future in terms of direct transparency and traceability of the resources and the impact.
Lawrence, please go ahead.
Hey, Sebastian. Yeah, so really neat stuff. Littlefish like that. So with the voting, so is that on chain? Like, is that how each of the people are voting? How did you guys do the voting for that right now?
No, in this first iteration, we just created a Google form. So yes,
okay,
that's how we got our votes.
But that's where you want it to move, I assume?
No, there won't be any more voting rounds in the future. The projects will be featured in the website, and people can directly donate to any project via the blockchain, and that way we can increase the transparency and projects can get their funding faster.
But the members of the DAO are going to vote. So that voting, would the direction to be use the blockchain to basically do the voting? So then that can be transparent of the votes of who voted for what or who got voted?
The members of the DAO will vote on the direction of the DAO, but no longer on the projects themselves. The projects will be featured on our website, and people can donate directly to the projects without having to be part of the DAO or anything like that. But members of the DAO are going to be voting on the direction of Littlefish in the future, not on the projects themselves.
And is there any way to keep track of the projects that are being funded, as in the development and if they hit their milestones and stuff like that?
Well, that's what's coming. I mean, Oscar is our first project, so he's the first person funded. So he's gonna have to lead the way, show us the path. So
perfect. Okay, Oscar, we'll keep an eye on you.
Yeah. Well, I think main communication should go to the Littlefish Foundation website, and we should ask the winners to share their news on their own different channels, but also share what they share on the Littlefish Foundation website. So if there is such kind of forum or somewhere that everyone can comment or contribute to the news on the website, that will be great, I think. So in that way, there should be a kind of interaction between donors and winners and all other people who would like to see how things are going on. So we need such kind of functionality to allow our interaction in the website, I believe.
And what are the incentives for donors? Sorry, I didn't do my research entirely.
No worries, no worries. We have like two levels. So first, donors that donate to a particular project, we're going to generate NFTs that represent contributions to the project. So the donors will get these NFTs in order to show their support. And those NFTs will be individual per project, right? So for example, Oscars will get his NFTs for all the people that donated to his project. And in the future, each project will have their own class of NFTs or their own supply of NFTs in order to give to the donators. That's level one. And level two is we are designing right now like a tokenomic scheme of how we're gonna like distribute our governance token to the community. And that governance tokens is basically what in the future we will use to vote on the direction of Littlefish or how we will develop the project, what functionalities to create next, and what proposals you can make in order to improve it.
Okay, cool. But that's going to be just a DAO token, right? Just a governance token.
Well, no, we have several designs with it. We have like a staking rewards, so we will create pools. Probably we will design bonding cards that will give rewards according to where on the bonding core you allocate certain stake, for example. NFT drops also, if you hold tokens, you will get NFT drops periodically of anniversaries or special occasions and all that kind of stuff.
And can I ask just the NFTs you mentioned that the projects will get, would these have any utility, or is that just, just a proof of participation?
Well, initially there will be like a proof that you donated to a certain project in a certain time. Later we can add functionality to them, but something is in discussion. We are in discussion. Sorry.
Okay, cool, awesome.
I can say something here. We want to introduce rental NFTs, and we want to bind the NFTs to the oracles, and we can get real world data, and we will be able to use the rental NFTs for giving some funds or something that we will introduce later. This is a new concept, but rental NFTs will be good for taking what you give earlier. So if somebody doesn't do what they are supposed to do, you can take it back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That's a good idea.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then maybe also to mention to everyone here, there's a meeting every Monday, 7 p.m. UTC, where everyone is welcome to come and contribute and build the next, the DAO basically, the community, and how can we scale it. So started a few months ago and already did the first donation cycle, which is amazing. Well done on that.
Mm.
So yeah. Learning by doing.
Totally.
So before anyone comments, these are reusable glass Coca-Cola. So I'm not later.
Awesome.
You don't get in trouble with Sean with Litercoin.
Yeah, I was just talking to them a few seconds ago. Yeah, they keep on developing, and I suggested that they try an app called Next Door. Basically, it's like a Facebook for your local area, for your neighbors. I think it would be beneficial for them.
Yeah, but maybe, sorry. Please, maybe some of the new person, if they have questions or they want more information about something.
Yeah, I can see Abraham. I haven't spoken, I think, with Abraham before. You show yourself.
Hi, I'm new here.
Hello. Hey.
Welcome.
Hello.
Yep,
Welcome.
good to be here. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, I'm Abraham from Uganda,
Okay.
and yeah, interested in climate change. So I wanted to know more about yeah.
Perfect. Welcome to the community. We have a very interesting conference coming up tomorrow. I'll share the link to the announcement on Twitter. It's about trees in Cardano. If you can make it, please join. If you can't, appreciate if you can share the information with your network.
Sure. Let me check it out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who else do we have? We have Simon.
I've got a question. It's not relating to the presentation, it was more on the town hall about the recommendations to vote down the climate change initiatives. I was wondering what everybody else's view on that. I was rather disappointed myself because it's not like it's a big fund trying to change the climate. It's lots of little projects that are all trying experiments out to see how to use blockchain technology in solving climate problems. And if you don't start those now, once it gets more popular and more people are joining Cardano, how are we going to know what works and what doesn't if we don't try these little experiments? So that was my take on it. I just wondered what everybody else thought.
Obviously, Rich is an engineer, so he likes to start small and then go grip big, but I don't think we have the time to go that route. We have to start big and going bigger. So I personally wouldn't share his ideas. I think the time is now to precisely to experiment and what bigger ecosystem than the blockchain technologies, right? This is the place where we can do meaningful advancements. This is the place where we can gather resources. This is a place where we can experiment on new ways to organize human activity. At the end of the day, that's a DAO, right? It's a novel way to organize human activity in a decentralized manner and in an international manner. So, for example, Oscar is from Turkey. I'm from Bolivia. Yoram is, I believe, in Netherlands. Brock is in Canada. So we're all here, right? We're all experimenting.
Yeah, solutions.
And now I will add also, I mean, we actually see it an opportunity. I think Rick just don't understand that. So we see it as an opportunity. There's two things that are going to change in the next years, right? One is models related to blockchain, and second, models related to climate change. I mean, there's no way out of it. So if we can combine them, it's actually a huge opportunity for Cardano. And if you look today, I mean, there's already tens of projects related to climate change in Cardano, even without the challenge on the catalyst. I mean, there's tens in the different of projects in the different categories. So it makes sense to group them together and bring them home. But anyway, next fund there will be 100. So I mean, they will be there, and some of them are flag project for Cardano, like Veritri. It's a good example, right? That they always flag about it, and Samsung just came in for that. So
yeah,
I think you just don't see the detail. You just read the title. It didn't go deep into that, and it just make a decision. But we are here to stay. We will do many more projects like Littlefish and push Littlefish and other projects to solve the key problems.
By the way, Yoram, when you mentioned about Veritri, you know, I'm following the news about Veritri development also. They recently announced that they reached the goals of planting 1,000,000, how many trees?
Yeah.
So, you know, so this kind of news are quite taking attention of the people's attention, but we don't know really. For example, I can, as part of this initiative that I got funded, I can say that I will have 200, actually, this is my goal, 200 seedlings, and I will carry the seedlings to the area where there is clear cut in the forest, and I will reforestate that area. This is the original initiative. So can we do something like that with 200 seedlings, for example, to prove the society. I can take the photo and image, of course. Is it possible to create NFT or something like that? So because I
Yeah.
want to have, we can have such kind of impact with the news, you know. I mean, we may try to find creative ways to do that, such as Veritri has done.
Yeah, so Veritri is working. I mean, they're going to be tomorrow in the event, by the way. So they're going to present. But the way they work with local NGOs, verified NGOs on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
That the NGO actually do the work of planting, right? And they don't do the planting themselves, but they work with verified NGOs that do the planting and reporting. And then they have the challenges that one of the challenges is over time. I mean, if you plant 1 million trees or 10 million trees or 100 million trees, how do you follow up over time? What's happened if there's fire? I mean, they have great solution and they are improving it. But this is the way they work today. And for your question, yeah, there would be, in my view, satellite-based technology that is challenging today to create NFTs for smaller projects also on their territories to verify over time what's happening in the territory.
We can save the GPS coordinates of where the seedling is being planted and attach that to the metadata of the NFT. And when it is distributed, people will be able to see those GPS coordinates, go to Google Earth, and locate the seedling. 3 by now, hopefully.
Okay, yes,
but Google Earth is not real time, right? So they can locate the seedling in one time, but how you make sure the tree is growing? I'm actually going to make a proposal about it because I worked a lot with satellite and agriculture. So I have a partner that is that uses satellite technology to, because the challenge with satellite technology is low price, high resolution at low price at scale. And there's no solution today for that yet. All the projects are project-based, high price, or low resolution for a very cheap price. So anyway, but you will see it in Fund 8 probably, the proposal.
Yeah. I mean, not only the trees, but also design is important. For example, I mentioned that I will follow up the permaculture principles there. So it's not only about planting, because when you plant, you have to really ensure that this there is a healthy soil and quality soil where you plant the tree, you know. Otherwise, you can allow the tree grow 3 years and then it dies. You should ensure a quality of work that you do. So the first thing that I will do, for example, I will make the design in this land so that I can harvest water and keep the soil quality, and then slowly plant the trees, you know. So that is the thing. But it is, at least the technology is encouraging people to do good things, you know, and recognize that we should be carrying these trees and something like that.
Hey, Simon.
Hey, Simon.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Simon, Heath, just to echo your comments there about the discussion at the town hall. So I totally agree that, yes, I don't think Rick he has a different view, obviously, but I agree by empowering like projects, that's how you're going to start building, you know, apps and dApps that then ideally can be open source, that then can be further leveraged. And that's how you're going to get bigger developer community and adoptions, by having real projects actually use the network, as opposed to just, you know, it's important to have developer tools set up and all that stuff. That's important, but also you need real projects. So I think that having a catalyst for climate change exactly helps allow projects to actually materialize. And again, they'll have different levels of success, but at least they're active projects, and then that could be a much better catalyst than not doing anything at all, right? So I agree. So anyway, we'll see. That was, it's one man opinion, and he's got to, you know, follow. So I guess we'll see where the chips lay, right? Like there's lots of people that are going to vote, and clearly it's a lot of people are you know, aligned that this makes sense to do. So I guess we'll see.
Mhm. I think for me, the other thing with these variety of apps as well, it gives you inspiration for things that you'd have never thought about. It's, you know,
Totally.
it's moving away from the finance and the monetary stuff and into real
Exactly.
world projects.
Yep, it's incubator stuff, right? It's not,
Yeah.
this isn't, it's an incubator, you gotta kind of go with some fringe, some ideas, don't be afraid to fail, right? Like, that's okay, but we're learning. And if you put a more of a lens of, okay, no, we gotta have rock solid infrastructure, all the dev tools gotta be like, it's gotta be slick, like, right, building an Android app. Well, okay, yeah, it's true, it would make things easier, but you're going to miss the boat, not just on climate change, but on other blockchains, right? Like, so yeah, that's just, I think we're aligned.
And besides, it is big projects that push the technology and the tooling to that level, right? So if we just concentrate on building small stuff, there's not going to be any drive to try to tackle the complicated things and deliver those great tools or those great frameworks for the future for other projects.
You probably need
Yes.
a mixture, right? You need small, big and small, right? They have different kind of niches, they solve different issues, right? An incubator is to incubate ideas. And then absolutely, then there's much larger juggernaut projects that are going to really drive larger systemic changes, like, like the Jed coin and the Cody relationship and other stuff like that. So there's definitely, it's not that you don't do those, but to not do the more fringe stuff, it's sometimes short-sighted, but we'll see.
That's the main idea behind Littlefish, right? So we will particularly support little initiatives and not like creating big structures and organizations doesn't really go to direct people directly, but just quick initiatives. I'm happy to be part of really Littlefish Foundation.
You see, a little bit, I have a different view on that aspect because I think that larger foundations or structures can actually benefit people on a larger scale in an individual way. So for example, the reason I'm here is because as a stake pool, we got in early in the ecosystem to secure the network and start minting blocks to contribute that way because we truly believe in the protocol and where things are going. But I guess in a way, we are of the mindset of taking the reins and saying, yes, this is a new financial operating system that can benefit everyone to a large degree. And we need to incentivize, the aspect of the fact that you can use it to gain funds. So I love the idea of contributing to activists, people who boots on the ground are wanting to do things. But the reason why we set up a stake pool is to have income being generated that we can then slowly utilize to build our project. And because we're very much in love with our environment, and what's the point of setting up a whole new financial operating system if nobody could live on the earth? Our mindset is to go ahead, and that's where we've gone ahead and taken what we've earned from being involved with the ITN and since mainnet, and we've taken our rewards and reinvested into getting developers to build us a marketplace. And so using Daedalus as a complete node for our marketplace, once we have that built out, we'll be allocating funds from the generation or funds that are generated from transactions on the marketplace specifically to projects like this. So that's why we reached out, wanted to support. We're interested in building our digital identities now and proving our intentions. So that's why we have gone ahead and started building the marketplace and gone ahead and started making connections with individuals who are very much mission driven for climate. So like for us personally, I love sailing, and I'm freely admit that in a way, it is a selfish ambition for me to want to have a DAP where I can say, I'm at this geographical location, I'm going to that geographical location. What's the supply and demand? What do people need where I'm going? And can I fill that need by purchasing locally from people on the marketplace to take those goods somewhere else with sailing cargo, sailing ships, and then being able to verify the movement of that cargo with somebody like what we're reaching out to Charlie 3 right now for weather data to prove that yes, the weather conditions were right where a sailing vessel didn't have to motor the whole way, so it can unlock carbon credit tokens, which can be sold to kind of offset the fact that it took me a month to cross that ocean crossing to get the cargo there. I can't really do it as a sustainable business because that requires, being there every week. Well, let's offset that with the fact that I'm choosing an eco-friendly method of transport. And then additional funds that are raised from our marketplace would be given to token holders, which they would be able to vote on so that they could say, okay, well, this ship that has a cargo load of XYZ, we would like contributions or ADA that was derived from transaction fees to be applied to that cargo so that the end users of that cargo don't even have to pay for it or get it at a greatly reduced price with no adverse effect to the person who's hauling that cargo. It's no expense to them because they're just getting paid from the marketplace fees. So like Yoram, what you're talking about with being able to keep track of or locating or keeping track with satellite imagery and stuff to see, okay, well, this course was charted and plotted and they got there within the 10 days they figured they were going to do. That's why we're reaching out currently to Charlie and to Singularity to get an AGI to help with logistics so that you'd be able to take the metadata from the marketplace for all the users that are on there showing that they're producing, organically grown this or that, or handcraft goods to a certain quality. We'd be able to get our resources from our own marketplace, trusted source, and then be the vessel that takes it around to different places that we want to go and visit anyway. So
yeah, amazing. Yeah.
So projects like this, I think, are a perfect example of exactly what Cardano is all about, at least in my mindset. So with Rich's, talking down about climate change and stuff, I don't think it's 100% that he's anti-climate change and projects like that. I think that he's more of a results-driven person. He's when taco, right? he wants things done right away. But reality is things like this, if they're going to make a long-lasting, meaningful change, you can't rush it. You have to think outside the box in a completely different way. And I think that's why we're all here learning and trying to figure things out so that, it's sustainable. It's not just, okay, it's sustainable as long as people are donating. It's regenerating its own needed income to manage that setup. So that's why I'm here.
Yeah, and it's funny, today I had a call with a technology company, a very interesting one, that wants to contact me if they can do a new type of carbon exchange technology on Cardano.
Mhm.
So, because this is a big issue. I mean, there's some carbon exchanges, but they're completely inefficient, very expensive to go in, a lot of greenwashing, right? So carbon footprint. So I mean, again, that can be a huge project actually for Cardano to have something like that if you are able to build great technology and efficient.
It's
And it's
transparency.
really Sorry?
It's transparency that's what's missing
Yeah,
from most carbon exchanges.
Transparency at
100%.
a low price, right? Because today to get into a carbon exchange, I need to pay I don't know how much and so much validators and it takes all the money because the money finally have to go to the field to make impact, right?
That's right.
To sustain something. So, but if there's no transparency of how much money goes and what's the impact of that, I mean, okay, so there is a lot of talks, but nothing happened, right?
Exactly.
So,
Simon, do you have something to say?
Yeah,
I've finished.
I think also it shouldn't just, it shouldn't just be like money going to activists out of the goodness of their heart. Like, I think this climate issue, I mean, since we're so many people and apparently, we do pollute the environment and, we are capable of destroying the place where we're living at. We have to come up with a system that inherently kind of, gives money to the people who are, taking care of that. Like it's a job to do that now. Like it shouldn't be just. I'm missing the word.
Altruistic.
Yeah, it should just be out of the goodness of people's
Yeah, it's
hearts.
not just a charity.
Yeah, it should be exactly. It shouldn't be just charity. It should, we have to think about, and that is like the inherent problem of our old or the traditional system. Like in the traditional system, the government is kind of that entity that would take care of that. But governments are quite slow, and also they're not the most trusted entity right now, maybe, right? So, and probably with good reason. And therefore, yeah, we have to think about that when we're building this system here, like right from the beginning, not when all the tools are in place already, because then the tools are in place already. Like we gotta think about that now while we're building the tools.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what's the point?
Exactly.
I think your charity point's really good. When I've done my own sort of tax efficient giving, I've always looked at supporting charities where the recipients have got no way of generating their own income, whether it's children or animals or the environment. It's like the environment can't generate a revenue unless you go and destroy it and chop it down and turn it into firewood or timber, isn't it? So it's where there's a treasury that's giving out money. How could we turn that into a sustainable system where society at large starts thinking, actually, we need to fund the environment as part of our lifeblood, basically, rather than just little projects that are scraping around trying to get money. It needs to be there for society's benefit, and trying to come up with the projects that make that a self-funding mechanism is what I think is going on in the Cardano community at the moment.
Yes, usually, those things are, implied in taxes. So the government is, kind of the one responsible for our well-being. So since that's the case, they would be also responsible for taking care of climate change, and that's why they would have to take taxes from companies that hurt the environment, because then later on the governments are the ones that have to clean it up again. So, but yeah, so that's also kind of I would, you probably can hear it out of it. I would like to have, a pollution tax or a CO2 tax or whatever. But I mean, maybe hopefully there's like other ways where we can, put that into the protocol itself, where, it's not a negative, but more of a positive.
Yoram, you have something?
yeah, I will even add, I mean, something that, I mean, today, normal business, right? Any business or supply chain should be a business which take care of the people, nature, right? And then the supply chain. So if you have a business today, wherever multinational you are, and you are cutting the trees to make more money, and you are not paying enough in the supply chain, it's not a normal business. Unfortunately, that's the norm today, right? But it's not a normal business. It's a business that, you know, if most of the cacao supply chain is being used by child labor and cutting trees in Ivory Coast, I mean, it's not a normal business. So how basically, so for me, it's kind of the future of building a business which is normal. It's a good business for nature, for people, and because the supply chain, that should be a normal business eventually. So, I mean, I've been taking it even further. Anyway. And for that, we need transparency and traceability, right? Really. And I believe, by the way, consumer will follow that. Consumer doesn't want to buy, consumer will follow that, and they will be willing to pay, I think, even for products that they have this transparency and traceability in a good way.
And I think that if there is a model, like this is why I'm thinking this way, but if there's a model where a consumer could buy something that is sustainably produced and shipped in a sustainable way that's kind of compensated for that with the sale of carbon credit, for example, or organically grown produce would be able to qualify for a carbon, like a remediation type credit because of the fact that it's taking carbon out of the atmosphere and giving us edible carbon, then customers would be willing to wait on their products, especially with products that could last longer, shelf life, and choose to purchase that way.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so basically our response to Rich is basically we need to continue and build solutions and build application and show how important it is. And just keep on going. What we are doing, what the best respond and come with tools and show that the impact of that.
Perfect. So I guess we have concluded our room.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys want to go to other ones. Should I close it? What do you guys say?
Yeah, I want to go and see where is Rick now, and just I will have a chat with him probably after.
Awesome. Then again, congratulations.
Thank you
By the
very
way,
much.
guys, did you see the results of the voting process for our proposals?
You mean the final CS score?
Yeah, final,
Yeah, saw it.
of course. Yeah. So I think it's good to decide, make a decision to spread it out for vote during the voting process. It starts tomorrow. We have the presentation already. Where do we want to share them all? You know, maybe we can distribute the responsibilities so everyone can work in parallel, convergent.
Could somebody give me some information or help me to get up to speed on that? I'm completely unfamiliar with this. I took a break from the blockchain space for a while because of family health issues. And so the way crypto moves, it's like I'm 10 years behind again. But I would be interested in finding out, like, we are running a stake pool, if that has anything that merits or help.
I'm going to share the link. So wait. This is kind of initial summary of different solutions related to impact and climate that are going to be voted in Fund 7. And by the way, tomorrow the conference is an incredible one. I mean, also you can join. I will share again the link. Be quite inspirational one. Yeah, but kind of we try to put together at least some. There's not everyone is there, but there's like 22 climate and sustainability related proposal for Fund 7. I think in total there's like 50 that we know about.
Okay.
just to help the voters to vote for this type of project if they're interested in either way. And some of them for me are completely, critical. I mean, there's one for, it's not there actually, I don't know, Chris didn't upload it, but the Cardano footprint calculation, for me, it's an essential one. And they're basically calculating the footprint of the blockchain and in a very transparent and good way. I mean, for me, that's a key one because all the people coming to the blockchain always raise the issue of the energy. So they are doing incredible work on that. So there's good ones. There's good, but it's not in this list. Chris didn't upload it. From a Climate Natural Cardano team, SPOs, they are doing a good job on that. A lot of work on that.
Are you registered, Brock, to vote?
What's that, Sebastian?
Have you registered to vote?
For this fund coming up?
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you want, I will share the links to all of the to the proposals in the Discord, and from there you can see which ones are the Littlefish ones.
Okay, no, that would be perfect because, like I said, I haven't had time to do that stuff, but I do have a little bit of a wallet that weights the vote a bit, hopefully, and it'd be nice to see more of these projects have some wind under their wings, as it were, take flight. So, no, that's awesome.
You have here the link, and Littlefish obviously is part of that. But if you want, Sebastian will put it in Discord. This link just includes some more other projects you might be interested in.
In this presentation, the last one Yoram shared has all the projects that is related with the climate for Cardano. Cardano for climate.
It's not all of them. It's 20 for now, but we'll see if many didn't upload yet.
Perfect. So I guess we close it, and
yeah,
you guys can go to different rooms. Let's stop recording.